Hello and welcome one and all to Q&A Friday. We made it through the week and today is all about your questions, your VO related questions. So pop them into the chat. Happy to entertain those here just in a few minutes. My name is Mike Hathcote. I'm a full-time voice actor and voiceover career coach and author of the book, The Voiceover Blueprint, which you can pick up for less than 10 doll hairs in the description below. You get the digital download, the audiobook, as well as 4 free gifts. So check that out if you like it. And speaking of liking, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Appreciate that as always. We just passed a little over 84,000 subscribers on this channel. So very much appreciate you all being here, whether you're here live every morning at 9 or pick up the replay later in the afternoon or whenever you can get to it. So before we get into questions, or while we're waiting on questions to pop in, want to remind you one more time about the webinar coming up on Tuesday night, George Whittam's Practical Personal Studios, where George is going to break down all the things that you need to know to fix and prepare your studio for the best possible audio, period. No matter if you're in a blanket booth, a whisper room, or anything in between. He is the man when it comes to that. And so Tuesday night at 5 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to get into that. It'll be about an hour of Q&A. I'm sorry, an hour of lesson and then about 30 minutes of Q&A at the end of that. And remember, we're also giving away a spot, as always. Tuesday morning, I'm going to draw for a spot. So if you've already signed up, you could win a refund and attend the class for free. So check it out in the description. Hope to see you there. Okay, let's say hi to everybody and see what questions we got. Hey, there's Bob from Wadsworth, Ohio. Good to see you. Happy Friday. And also Mr. Hunt. Happy Friday to you as well from Longview. And there's Kathleen from Evanston, Wyoming. Nice to see you, Kathleen. Good morning. And there's Jason from Kearney, Nebraska. Hey, Sarah from Kentucky. Good to see you. And there's Alan. Happy Friday afternoon from Philly. Same to you. And there's Happy and Joyful from Florida. And there's Grady from Ithaca, New York. Happy weekend to all. What do you guys got planned for the weekend? I'm going to be doing a little bit of work, not this kind of work, not VO work, but just work around the house. And I'm going to detail my car, or all of our cars, which I do on a semi-regular basis. There's something about cleaning. And my wife, I'm not your typical guy, meaning that most wives complain about their husbands being sloppy and stuff like that. It's the opposite here. I'm a neat freak. And so my car is pristine inside and out, and I try to keep the house that way. And keep our cars clean. I'm just a neat freak. So I don't know how I got that way, but hey, I got to be me. So I'll be doing some cleaning this weekend, and let me know what you're doing this weekend. There's Edward from Jacksonville, Florida. Good to see you. And there's Sally from Plano, Texas. Hello, hello. And there's Nephi from Knoxville, Tennessee. Charlie from Sparta, Wisconsin. Good Friday morning to you. And there's Dennis from Grant Park, Illinois. Hello, hello. And John the Irishman from Denver. I got to get back to Denver, man. I lived there for, 6 or 7 years in the early to mid 2000s, and I miss it. Need to get back there. Theo, happy Friday from downtown Chicago. And there's Andrew from Latvia. Hello to you. Hey, Jim Williams, morning from Memphis. And there's Nancy in Yankton, South Dakota. Kino, good morning from Rancho Cucamonga, California. Good to see you, sir. And there's Wayne from Port Orchard and Alex from Utah. Terry says, howdy, partner from Fallston, Maryland. What was your reaction when you got your first voiceover gig or job? Okay. I mean, it was a long time ago. I mean, first of all, Well, I started in radio, so I was pretty surprised when they actually hired me, a fresh-faced 20 what was I? I guess I was 95. I would have been 24. So, 24 years old, straight into the radio station. It was pretty daunting. I mean, so that was pretty crazy. I mean, I was a nervous wreck, that last 10 seconds before going live for my first on-air, broadcast was just, it was crazy. But as you do it, just like with anything, it gets better and better, and you get less and less nervous, and then it was just like anything else, second nature. Now, fast forward to when I got my first voiceover gig, because radio is a little different from voiceover in that well, number one, it's usually live, which has its own pressure, unless you're reading scripts and spots. But when I got my first VO job, that's another time that I was also pretty scared, because it is different from doing radio work, and I was pretty nervous, but luckily I had been used to radio being live, and so, the pressure was kind of off because I could just do it as many times as I needed to do it, and, it sure is fulfilling, though, when you deliver that first job, and actually any job after that. I mean, I still get a kick that some people wanna pay me for my voice and for what I can bring to their project. It's still pretty humbling. So, here's another quick story. I first dabbled into audiobooks, gosh, I mean, that was about 10 years ago, I would say, and, I went onto ACX just like most people do and created a profile, and I didn't have an audiobook demo per se, but I uploaded my regular VO demos, and, I applied for 5 books because you can narrow down the search. I wanted to do small books to get started, and, nonfiction because I'm not a big fiction guy, so I did nonfiction, small books, and had a bunch to audition for. I auditioned for 5 books that I felt like I was a good fit for, and ended up getting both of or 2 of them, and that freaked me out a little bit because I was like, "Oh, no," it's like, "Careful what you wish for," and luckily, both of the rights holders were okay with timelines, so I was able to do both of them, one after another. But yeah, I got scared, you know, applied for 5, got 2, and eesh. So anyway, that's my story. There's Steven in Atlanta. Good to see you on here. And Alex asks, how does one go about getting a logo carved into a panel like yours? Well, it's not um it's not carved, it's just screen printed. I got that from a place called Acoustical Solutions. Hey, did you see that? Maybe it'll do it again. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Um, Acoustical Solutions, and you just upload your logo, you pick the size panel you want, you upload your logo, and they send it to you. So that's where I got that one, and, it is an acoustic panel, so it does help, absorb things. Although in this booth, I honestly don't know if it does very much. If it was in a less than perfect space, it might help, but this booth is already treated so well that that probably doesn't add to it, but it's kinda nice to have it. I splurged a little bit when I got this booth. Andrew says, "Are you like Monica from Friends?" Almost. I do like things clean, if you look at my work desk here, I mean, everything has its place and it's nice and clean, and I've always got it dusted, and yeah, I'm pretty close. I wouldn't say I'm anal retentive, but I'm pretty close. I'm pretty close. Police Commander Z3 from Atlanta. Hello to you. Jason says it's cruise weekend here in Kearney, so I'll be trying to avoid the big crowds while celebrating my son's 7th birthday. Finishing it up an audiobook recording and then editing. Sounds like a weekend, I guess, but try not to work too much. And happy birthday to your son, by the way. Mike says, "Happy Friday. I just learned that Bill DeWeese retired from VO training. Any chance we'll see him as a guest time to time?" I don't know. I'd say never, but he's earned the right for a little bit of a little bit of a rest. He is only retired from the training side. He has not retired from VO. He's still just rocking like he always did on VO, but he felt it was time for him to take a step back and relax a little bit and spend more time with his family, which I totally get. And so, yeah, but like I said, never say never. We'll see. He is, by the way, if you missed this, he is helping us with our TV affiliate boot camp. He is the one who is producing all of the demos for all the students in the TV affiliate boot camp, all 15 of them. And so he's going to be producing 15 different demos for people. And that's actually coming up pretty soon. All the students have already met with George Whittam to get their effects rack dialed in for TV affiliate. And then next step is going to be training with Aaron on the actual delivery on the performance side. And then they're going to do the recordings. Then the recordings get sent to Bill. Bill will produce the demos, send them back to the students, and then it's off to the races. So that's what's happening with that. But so Bill is still somewhat involved. There's Tim from Altoona. Hello to you. Alan says, "What are your thoughts on individual demo spots versus compilation demos? Seems to be trending towards having a lot of single spots." Well, the good news is you can do both. When you get your full compilation demo, say it's got 5 or 6 spots on it of different varying styles, and subject matter. Oops, sorry. Forgot to turn off my ringer. Um, and what you can do is when you get that compilation, usually you can either get the producer to send you the individual spots, or you can just go into the compilation and actually cut them out. And then you have all individual spots. So that's totally doable because sometimes people will want to hear just your high energy read or something like that. So you can send them just that spot and you don't have to, kind of waste their time with them listening to all the other spots on there. So that's totally doable and, knock yourself out. I've got individual spots for everything that I have just in case someone wants, to listen to a single style. So best of both worlds, just do both. Mike says, "I don't do VO currently and now in the US Navy, but will return to it one day." Awesome. Well, yeah, I guess in the Navy, it would be hard to kind of set up a permanent or semi-permanent space, um, to do VO. Although, one of the things that George is going to be teaching us on Tuesday is how to create the best mobile VO space, VO setup for when you're traveling or on vacation or something, which I'm not advocating working on vacation. Just saying, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. One of the things I talk about in the book is several different times when I've actually created a workspace in an Airbnb closet or, something like that. And so there's actually a picture of one that I did in Flagstaff where my wife and I just decided to get up and get out of the heat for the summer, or not for the whole summer, but for about a week in the middle of the summer here in Phoenix, because it's usually about 20 or so degrees cooler up there in Flagstaff than it is down here. So we just packed up, went up there for a week, got an Airbnb, and I built a little makeshift booth, and it was a work week. It wasn't a vacation. We both worked while we were there, and I just outfitted this closet with my stuff and got to work. So never say never. Even if you're in the Navy, you might be able to figure out a way to get work done. Becky says, "Hey, from Albion, Michigan. Hello to you." Timothy says, "Tom Sawyer." Yeah, Nephi says, "Nice ringtone." Yep, that's what that was. Good ear, because I turned it off pretty fast. So good ears, guys. Tom Sawyer by the Holy Triumvirate, Rush, from the great up north. Felice says, "Hey there from Munich, Germany. Thank you for sharing your knowledge." Well, my pleasure, and thank you and welcome. I don't think we've had anyone on here from Germany, or at least I'm not aware of if they have been. So welcome to you, and thank you for being here. Okay, are we at the bottom of the questions? Anything else? I've got a spot to do here for what is this script? It's something in Madrid. Atletico Madrid script for I guess it's a sports camp. Yeah, sports academy. So okay, I'll do it. That's coming up soon. So if you're in the blueprint, I will see you shortly by streamlining or live streaming that into the group. So if you want to watch live or watch the replay, you can check that out. And then I'll do whatever else comes in today. But I think I might, if it ends up being a slow day, I might go ahead and knock off a little early and, take some time off because that's what's great about being self-employed. You can just quit whenever you want. Okay, well, I guess if there are no other questions, I will see you all on Monday. And don't forget, Tuesday night, if you haven't signed up yet, learn all about it in that link below. If you're even starting to build a booth, you can do so on a budget, and George will actually tell you how to do so where you're not, breaking the bank trying to get that booth built out, but it'll still sound pro, which is the goal. So there you go. Once again, I'll see you on Monday. Hope you all have a fabulous weekend. And that's it. Break a lip. See ya.